You don't have to. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no. And you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember it all. Yeah, you tore it apart down to every last piece. Yeah, a souvenir, another story to tell. And I gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in all ways. It's evident you never changed for our sake. Baby, I can't trust it. We're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. If you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste it. You only want it if you know you're gonna break it. Just another souvenir for the take, yeah. Just take it. Baby, just take it. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no. And you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember the fall. To go and tell your friends you were there for it all. A souvenir, just a little postcard for the road. And I just gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in all ways. It's evident you never changed for our sake. Baby, I can't trust it. We're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. 'Cause if you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste it. You only want it if you know you're gonna break it. Just another souvenir for the take, yeah. Just take it. Baby, just take it. Just another souvenir for the road. That's the way it goes. Just take it. Baby, just take it.
She put me into a fever. Now I'm a believer of a love that's deeper. Ooh, the temperature's evil, so I to deceive you. The love isn't equal. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Doubting even if you're tied away. And nothing I could say to now that I've seen ya. Every day that I wake up, you pull me in deeper. Ooh, you made me a prisoner, my soul's gatekeeper, just as grim as a reaper. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're in outer space. Darling, even if you're tied away, and nothing I could say to make you stay. Nothing I could say to make you stay.
This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we win, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man. This is how we rock. This is how we win. This is how we roll, man.
Staring at the ceiling, I see shapes devouring my mind, counting down to something I forgot. There's only one lifetime.
FTF.GG welcomes you to the virtual Road America. I can't really call it a speedway because it's not. That's why I stuttered there for a second. Welcome you to Road America, the virtual version of Road America for the FTF Barr Visual Cup Series Scott Wimmer Open from Road America up in Wisconsin. Glad to have you along for the ride, everybody. Jacob Hitz, Joe Peak alongside Zach Johnson, our producer for tonight. Once again, a full field here from Road America, 45 laps up on the board. And after watching the Xfinity race, I think that helped show how we expect these drivers to drive this weekend in real world and in the sim. But something I've noticed from these guys in practice, these next-gen cars are a lot easier to drive at the road courses than they have been in the past.
Absolutely. I noticed a marked improvement on how they're handling out there, which should give us some great racing. And this track is honestly already set up for great racing, Jacob, because there's plenty of long straights and heavy braking zones. And that's honestly the most ideal thing you could ask for in a road course.
Field is rolling. Let's get our starting grid rolling as well. No real surprise. It's Brandon Hawken that is on pole position. Kevin King lines up on the outside. Blake Reynolds and Landon Mills line up in row number 2. Logan Helton and Nate Stewart in row 3. Michael Rosero and Jonathan Oates in row 4. And Tyler Gary and Alex Kolonix round out the top 10.
Wyatt Tinsley is going to be starting from 11th, and Michael Frisch will be in 12th. You got Michael Cozy Jr. 13th. Kwame Scott will start P14. Inside of the next row is Ryan Doucette. Then it's Seth Knoll and the number 1 starting 16th, followed by Joseph Armstrong. They've got Nick Miller in there in 18th, Jake Poulin in the 19th position, and Andrew Cootie is supposed to be starting from 20th, but I see him in pit lane.
Well, then he'll be starting from pit road. More than likely, you do have that option if you want to. Philip Cecil McCandless will start in 21st. Matthew Zwack will be in 22nd. Chris Wetz and Cosmo Yeshu in row 12. Then David Brown and Ryan Nalraki. Devin Mistak and Nathan Rabideau in row 14. And rounding out the top 30, Justin Malillo and Brett Punkari.
Kevin McAdams will be on the start of the next slide with Spencer Ray starting next to him. It's Gary Waterworth in 33rd. You've got Scotty Smith in the 34th spot and Tyler Lanin in the 35th. Blake Bryant is after him. You've got Robert Dorman on the inside of the next row, followed by Ryan Pandisio in 38th. Lucas Plessel will start 39th, and Art Reimer will be 40th.
Rest of the field going down through. A lot of these guys did not make the show. So how this works is Lane Tidwell, he makes the show. Jeremy Clapper Newell, he makes the show. Andy Margot, he makes the show. It's that simple. So those are your final 3 shotgun in the field. And that's going to do it. So field coming around. This is the carousel right now. And eventually they'll get back around and we'll get the green flag. Now, Justin Malillo, by the way, I read his name and I didn't even notice. He's not racing. He's doing race control. He's not on the racetrack. So he will not be running in this race, but everybody else will. Looks like Cosman's also going to choose to start from pit road, as will Scotty Smith, Michael P. Frisch, And I don't know where Jake Pullen is, but he's not on the racetrack right now.
It's honestly understandable because it's pretty well known here coming down into turn 5. It's the first left-hander of the course. You often get some decent pileups if you get people that are a little too ambitious. So sometimes it can pay dividends if you're starting in the middle of the pack to just kind of let it start on its own, but they're going to have a hard time trying to make their way through the field after that.
Pullen and Reimer are also going to start from pit road. So we've got a good half dozen that are going to start from the pit lane to try and avoid the chaos on lap 1 with everybody bunched up together. Again, 45 laps are up on the board. Stages tonight, end of lap 10, end of lap 20, and then the final 25 laps to the end. Pace car is in. Brandon Hawken leads us down. The start is on green, and we're set to go. The green flag in the Scott Wimmer Open. Whoa, Hawkins steps out coming off turn 1. They're going to hang on as they come down the hill as everybody rolls out from pit road. Tyler Landon's been given a black flag, lane change before the start-finish line, so that'll send him to pit road when they come around. Battle for the lead, Kevin King in the 29, Hawken in the 99, Blake Reynolds behind him in the 66.
It's a long braking zone, and it's very downhill into here, and it looks like Hawken is not going to have the desired line. Kevin King played that out well, fighting all the way around, and look at the dividends that it paid off here.
Willem Cecil McCandless way off the pace. In fact, he's off he's on the grass. He's off track. Another one goes off way behind him. It's Andy Margot. Got one way back there, Michael P. Frisch, who started from pit road. Actually, he crashed coming down into that corner. He got turned by Margot and spun into the wall. So he is falling way back there, as well as Margot.
Margot giving a quick apology over the radio for that one. Did not want his race to start that way. Don't count out Hawken after that start, losing the lead. He fell all the way down to 3rd. He was actually racing at Barber in the Lotus 49s earlier this morning and took a victory there. So I have a feeling that he is going to be very pumped up today and try and fight his way back past Reynolds and King.
Busy man, Blake Reynolds is. Not Blake Reynolds, Brandon Hawken.
Hawken,
there we
yeah.
go. Yeah. As soon as I said it, I was like, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong name. That's not right.
Have a problem.
One car off behind him.
I think that was Ryan
You see
Doucette.
trees. I think, yes, that is Doucette that went off. Was on the brakes and, well, missed it. He almost got into the back of, I think, yeah, Wyatt Tinsley is who we almost hit. So him going off course actually saved him more than it hurt him.
Yeah, that was Wyatt that he nearly got into. That was a very gentlemanly thing for Ryan to do. He could have tried to use Wyatt as a break there, but decided to try and sacrifice his own race, knowing that he was coming in too hot. And he's actually carrying on, so it looks like he didn't get too much damage. That's just the problem is he's now all the way down in 36th.
Track position definitely something you want to take advantage of. Andrew Cootie has disconnected, which makes me think he had a problem. As in, he went off course. And yes, he did. He went off course and looks like gave up and went home. He didn't hit anything. He just missed the corner. Okay, maybe stuck it into the tires, but he goes home. Tyler Landon serves his black flag. He's off pit road. Here are the leaders. Coming around through, headed. Well, there's Andy Margot around again. And I don't know this racetrack very well, so other than the Johnsonville sign, I know nothing. There it is.
This is the carousel, yeah, out of the hurry downs into turn 8 there. And I actually had the pleasure of getting to watch IndyCar here in person. Oh, we got a big accident.
Cozy.
That's Cozy.
And Nick Miller. No caution yet. We got multiple cars involved. They're off the track. We will stay green. Cozy, Nick Miller. Cozy got sideways trying to avoid Kwame Scott and running him over Nick Miller had nowhere to go and piled in, and then Cozy got back on the gas, spun the tires, and then got into the 19. Here's the battle for the lead. Reynolds. I know who you are, Blake Reynolds.
Yeah, getting a little ambitious there. It's hard to pass through Bill Mitchell Bend. This is really where you usually expect people to try and get a good run, and it doesn't look like he got the best of launches. The slipstream is pretty powerful, especially with these big, heavy cars, but I think he's going to need to be closer than that.
All right, so everybody is rolling as they head up the hill down toward turn 1. Leaders are already through turn 1. Couple of battles towards the start-finish line. 16th, that's Mistak and Rocky.
Looks like Mistak's going to be able to take that one away. And Naraki's got some company behind him. Chris Wetz trying to size him up, but he's also got McAdams. With so many cars out here, that's a big problem that this early in the race, things are going to be so stacked up. You make a move and it goes south. Suddenly you find yourself having to go from attack to defense.
How about the battle for second? Hawken has caught Reynolds, and he's looking to the inside. They head up the Corvette Bridge toward the hurry downs.
Nicely done by Hawken. I think he must have got a better exit coming out of turn 5. No, actually, it looks like he started the move down into turn 5. Actually got to the inside of Blake, and Blake just fought it as long as he could. But with that double left-hander, there was only so long he could keep the 099 back, and now he's passed.
Nate Stewart had some company there with Landon Mills. Logan Helton right behind in that 3-car battle, sweeping through the carousel. Looks like they've sorted it out for now.
So
Trouble, couple of cars off. That's at the Johnsonville Bridge. Devin Mistak and Matthew Zwack. Mistak just looks like he wheel hopped it or drove it in there too deep, got loose, and then Zwack missed the corner and went way wide, but kept it rolling.
We call that target fixation. Some driver in front of you makes a little bit of an error, and if you're not focused on what you're doing enough, it sounds silly, but you repeat the same mistake.
Scotty Smith has trouble. His left front wheel's not attached to the car. He's on pit road. Where did he get this? This was coming into, I believe, Canada Corner. Went wide, slapped the tires with the left side of the car, broke the suspension. So he's on pit road getting that fixed. No fast repairs for these guys here at FTF. So you break it, you're stuck with it the rest of the way unless the crew on pit road can fix it. How about the battle for 5th? Still Mills and Helton.
And Stewart right in front of them. We got a 3-way fight. Watch for the exit. If Helton's smart here, he's going to try and square it off and get a good launch. And he's pretty decent. I think the 125 could be in trouble, but it looks like he's getting a little bit of help down the straight from Stewart. So, yeah, not making the gains that I thought that Helton would. So I think they're all going to stay as they were, unless the 25 or 125 looked like he thought about trying something down into turn 5, but then reconsidered.
Under the bridge they come, and Mills is going to look on Stewart. Can't quite get there.
Down through turn 7. This is a lot bigger of a drop than you realize. Honestly, in the sim, I always thought that it was just kind of a gentle slope. In real life, it is multiple stories that you fall from turn 6 all the way down here to turn 8. And you got to watch out because it gives you a lot of extra speed you don't realize.
Mills was one of the faster guys in practice. Obviously started well, started 4th. But normally we see him qualify well, do well in practice, and then just after time goes on, burns up his tires and starts to fall through the field. A little loose there through the kink, and he's going to lose a ton of time to Stewart.
And tires are going to be a big talking point all throughout this race. You got to try and hold on to them as well as you can until the end of the stage, because here on the road courses, they still are so easy to light up. And the more that you overheat them, the worse your lap times and your handling is going to get. And to make matters worse, they've been hovering at around 100 Fahrenheit on the track surface.
In sim right now, the time 74 degrees, or the temps 74 degrees air temperature right now, just after 4:20 local time. Track temperature 99 degrees.
It's another little look.
I think the air temperature is awful Awfully generous, though, this time of year. Yes, it's up there in Wisconsin, but still, 74 is quite generous.
Oh yeah, this is an ideal Wisconsin day, honestly, if it were real world. Look at the 44 here, trying to see if he can shake off Wyatt Tinsley, who's still in a bit of action in that number 120 car. And this is always difficult on road courses. You always have to try and race the track more than you're trying to race your competition. Yes, I said there's a lot of places to pass here, but really what Joseph needs to do is try and focus on what he's doing and not make mistakes, not overshoot the corners, not spin up the tires on the exits, and force Wyatt to have to make the pass himself and not hand the pass to him.
Coming around through the hurry downs, headed toward the carousel. And Hawken starting to reel in Kevin King. Slowly but surely, we saw Hawken get his first road course win of the season back at Daytona earlier this year. And he was relieved to get back to victory lane and finally win at the road courses because he had been strong up until that point. Some contact further back a little bit ago. Ryan Rocky, Nathan Rabideau making some contact, but they straightened it out. Rabideau still losing spots. He's back to 20th.
Last lap was 0.3 quicker for Hawken over Kevin King. I'm very curious to see what this lap is going to be between them as we watch this fight down into Canada corner. That little kink is actually very, very difficult because you're trying to get the car turned in and then straightened up right as you hit the brakes. It'd be so easy to overdo it through there. And Hawken is another 0.4 faster. Wow.
Yep. Is it coming in a hurry? We're halfway through stage one. Pits will close on lap 8, I believe, when the leaders get to the carousel. And when they get to the Johnsonville side. I believe that's what I was hearing in pre-race. I could be wrong.
Bridge.
Trouble. Kevin McAdams is off course and into the wall.
Yeah,
I believe that's going into one.
It is. That's the longest straight on the track, and it's actually a relatively swift first corner, so you want to carry speed as he almost has a bad rejoin. And look at this fun that we got coming down through the hurry down side by side through 7 is very risky, but the 4 just about forced Mills to try and make a mistake. But now look at Helton right behind him as they come off of the hurry downs now, and great run by Helton. Get himself inside into this long right-hander, the carousel, and yeah, the 4 could do nothing about that. Once he was in there, It's a shorter line.
Man, Nate Stewart got back on the gas a little too early and about ran over Logan Helton. I think there was some contact, but Helton was able to hang on. Stewart backs off, and he loses a bit of time and loses another spot, gets drop kicked to 6th.
It's exactly what I was talking about earlier, that Stewart was so focused on his attack on Mills, he didn't realize that he left himself open and vulnerable. And Helton said, "Thank you very much. You leave the door open, I'm stepping through."
Brandon Hawkins still trying to close the gap for the race lead. Field is, where the leaders are back on the front straightaway up the hill. See what the gap is here this time by. Not going to be as much. He's still going to pick up 2/10 though on King. The gap's half a second.
Yeah, Hawken certainly looks like he's got something underneath him here. I wonder, once he gets there, what's he going to be able to do? Has he used up some of his stuff, having to try and pass Blake and then also outpace Kevin? Granted, they'll get the end of the stage and he'll get the caution to try and reset there. And obviously it'll reset also the distance between them. But this is also a bit of a mental game. Kevin has got to be seeing these numbers and know that Brandon is quicker than him. So if Brandon doesn't have a bad start this time and remains in second place, that's going to be weighing on the 29's mind.
And how tough can it be, Joe, sitting in second? You're gaining on the leader. The problem is that you can't quite get to him, and you don't want to completely abuse your stuff because you know the guy in third place is within striking distance right now.
It is tough, but also it somewhat comes down to each individual, because there are some that like to be the rabbit and some that like to be the fox and some that like to be the hare here. And right now, Hawken is the fox that's trying to chase Kevin King's hare. So I'm not sure which is which, but I can tell you this. In the Lotus 49 races, we get some good side-by-side here. The carousel between Stewart and Helton for the second time in a row. Helton in the inside once again. He's going to have to finish the job through the kink here. Oh, he doesn't. He breaks a little bit early. Nicely done by Stewart. But I was to finish my story, Hawken was behind the leader in second place the entire Lotus 49 race, made the pass for the win on the last lap. I'd say he's very comfortable playing the fox.
Closing in again, they got 0.3 of a second. King did not get through Canada corner and the Mitchell Bend all that well, and that's allowed Hawken to close the gap again by another 0.2. 3 laps to go here in stage 1 at Road America. Kevin King continues to lead, but the clock is ticking with his time out front.
And they've really been peeling away from Blake Reynolds, which takes quite a bit of speed, because Blake is fast in just about anything you stick him in. The 46 in the meantime, having a bit of an off, and we got somebody into pit lane. Is that Tinsley? It is.
Miller. Oh, no, it is Tinsley. You're right. He's trying to beat, and he did, the pit road closing when they get to 2 to go. So the pit road closes this time for the leaders. So he's going to come in and pit now and then probably stay out. And I would think he should be able to make it through stage number 2 without a problem.
He should.
They don't have to pit for stage 1.
Yeah, he should be able to make it through. And you're right. I think he's hoping to get some track position.
Helton almost got turned by Nate Stewart. Headed toward the Corvette Bridge. There was some contact because, Helton wanted back onto the racetrack, and Stewart wanted back onto the racetrack, and there wasn't quite enough room for both of them. They made it work out. Sorry, Joe.
That's okay. Yeah, the 4 going deep and just about turned his rival. It's so easy to do at turn 5 just because of that downhill run, and they do have a little bit of paved runoff, but it goes away quick, and then it's just grass and gravel to the outside, so you can't hang out there too long. The 4 has really been with it today. He and Helton in quite a battle, although they've lost touch with Mills because of all the back and forth that they've been doing.
Let's go on board with Stewart here if we can. Headed down toward Canada corner.
Yeah, so you get on the throttle coming out of here, and then this is a very blind corner, very hard to get grip through here through Bill Mitchell Bend. Crest right at the exit just as that curb opens up. So you want to try and hit it just perfect, but then the curved braking zone here into 14 really messes with you because you need every little bit that you can get, and Stewart certainly not, getting every bit and then some, putting his wheels in the grass there. That kind of hurt his exit speed because, like I said, this is the longest straight on the lap, so you really need every bit of momentum you can climbing up this hill.
Pits are closed. Now, Wyatt Tinsley, I'm trying to figure out, I think ATVO is broken.
He's in 30th. He came out in 30th, so.
Okay, so he did indeed stop, because on my timing screen, it showed he was only on pit road for a third of a second, which I knew wasn't true. I just wanted to make sure he actually did take tires and didn't drive through his box. He did stop. He is on 4 tires as Andy Margot goes off once again. Right in front of the leaders. Look out. Here comes Kevin King, and Brandon Hawken is in his tire tracks. The gap is 0.2 of a second. Hawken has reeled him in, and Margot's right in front of him.
Hawken thought about it for a brief moment. Still a little bit of a defense from Kevin King. So now we're starting to see Kevin feel this pressure because he's starting to try and take defensive lines. Now, the problem with that is he's going to be taking tighter corners a lot of the time if he keeps doing that. That's going to burn up the tires more, and it's just going to add to his woes. But he doesn't need to last long, thankfully.
And Blake Reynolds is right there as well, waiting in the wings if there is contact between these top 2. Kevin King kind of lays over, and here comes Hawken on the inside. Headed to Canada corner.
Ooh, this might be too deep for Kevin. Seeing if he can make it. He's so shallow into there, and Hawken is trying to take advantage of that. Doesn't get the crossover.
Doucette's right in front of him, another lap car. Here they come, headed to the final corner. They'll get one to go in stage one. Looking to the outside, now going to try and cross it over to the back bumper. It's going to be a run to turn one. Block the other way. One to go, stage one.
And Hawken wants that track position half a car length back. Now, are they counting it by the cross of the line, or will it be at the bridge?
See, I think they're going to throw the caution at the bridge. But I could have sworn that it was the end, not the start of the lap, unless I really haven't been paying attention the last several weeks.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they locked their positions in earlier on, and well, Hawken doesn't seem to think so. He still wants that track position. He's got a nose ahead right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to throw it at the bridge that can get everybody organized, but the stage ends when they get back to the start-finish line, so it'll just be at the caution, I guess. Technically, it'll end contact through 5, headed to 6.
Just like I told you, you got to give space there, else it's going to start to come to contact, and just eases in front of him. That was fantastic stuff there by Brandon.
And Reynolds gets by for second because King got sideways. What a pass! Round the outside.
They had fought so much that Blake had caught up to them before the start of this lap, essentially, and there they go, under the Johnsonville Bridge. Hawken had done it with the last chance.
And that's it. So they hit the bridge unofficially. So the bridge is basically the stage line here. Everybody now has to slow down, as you see the leaders are doing right now.
Oh, but Kevin has gone in front of Brandon.
They'll resort that out.
All right, so all right, a chance to relax on this one and get your brain in order, especially after that frantic end to that. Man, the adrenaline is got to be pumping. Your heart's pounding through your chest if you're guys like Kevin and Brandon and Blake here. So this is honestly perfect timing for them to really just kind of mentally get reset as well.
So King is giving the spot up to Hawken. So Hawken will win stage one. Pits will open this time. Now, how they're doing this, they're not actually throwing the caution flag in sim to make life easier for the drivers. So we're not pacing for a half an hour. What they're going to do, pits will open this time. They'll pit, they'll line them up, and then we'll get the green next time by.
Yeah, it looks like they have them on the pit speed limiter, I think, because they're cruising around at about 35 miles an hour, which actually I think might be slower than the regular pit speed. I'm not sure why they've decided this speed, but it's definitely creeping.
I think just to bunch everybody up and make sure everybody's caught up, because you still got Doucette and Poulin. They're still trying to catch up as trouble. Lane Tidwell is around. He spun it all by himself, got wide in turn 8 and spun it. Wyatt Tinsley has disconnected. What?
That is interesting. Let me see if I can figure out. I think he just lost internet connection. Yeah, he just disappeared in the middle of things.
Oh, yeah. He go boom. Huh.
Something must have either happened to his computer or his internet connection, because he just blipped out of existence.
Justin Malillo is the pace car. He's in turn 1. The field is on pit road. Let's see if anybody stays out. Tinsley would have been the guy to stay out. And obviously, he's not here. So that ain't going to happen. They just stomped on the brakes big time getting onto pit road.
Oh,
they sorted it out.
McCandless stayed out.
Oh, boy. We've seen this movie before. Last week. Now, he has not pitted yet, so he will not make it to the end of stage 2, I don't think.
Oh,
wouldn't think,
Hawken
'cause
missed
I
his
would-
pit stall. Hawken just missed his pit stall. He might lose the lead in the pit sequence.
He did overshoot his box. He had to back up, and there goes
look at
everybody
this.
else. Reynolds takes the lead off pit road. Hawkins still hasn't gone yet. Oh, that's why, because he had tire strategy. Those that left took 2 tires. Hawken decides to take 4, and he leaves pit road 12th, 13th on the racetrack.
Ooh,
So
well,
for Hawken, big trouble.
so
And a black flag, Jake Poulin.
Helton took 4 tires. Rosero took 4. Kolonix took 4. You mentioned Hawken. Yeah, basically, looks like only the top 9, I think, were a 2-tire call. Frankly, I am of the mind that those that made the 4-tire call are on the right side of things here because, yes, you got some long corners like the carousel, but there's enough of both types of turns. You're going to have a really weird handling car with only 2 tires. It's going to be very difficult. You're not just going to be slightly slower, but you're also going to be in a strange situation trying to keep it under control. I expect they won't get swallowed up, but they're probably going to find themselves eventually passed, at least with a little bit more ease than you would expect.
Philip McCandless is currently your race leader in stage 2. And his name doesn't even show up on the box. Wow. Zach Johnson, everybody. Well, we are going green this time. They're trying to double it up. I think they're going to double it up here at the bridge. Then Malillo will pull off and we'll get rolling. No wave arounds, no lucky dogs, no anything like that. So.
Still seeing a huge chunk of cars out there. 40, it looks like, that are still running. So plenty of things can go wrong, especially for those in the mid-pack. And this is where the strategy could maybe pay off for those on the 2 tires, is that they're farther out of trouble than those that have taken 4, because they're now stuck on row 5 and 6 and on backwards. But that to me seems like too great of a gamble for those up at the front, hoping that they have some sort of calamity in the back that takes the others out.
So McCandless stayed out. Dorman, Reynolds, Mills, King, Gary, Stewart, Oates, and Joseph M. Armstrong making his FTF debut. They all took 2 tires. Everybody else took 4. At least. If not taking some damage. Looks like Blake Bryant might have taken 2. He's back in 24th. So Malillo's going to try and bunch everybody up. And he's going to pull away like it's an F1 restart. He's going to get the heck out of town. McCandless is going to maintain 50 mile an hour, so will the rest of the field. So McCandless and Dorman will be the front row for this restart. Looks like there might be a little bit of damage to the left side of McCandless' car, but I think he'll be okay. So coming around out of Canada corner, headed down to the bend, and then we'll head to turn 14 and get this thing back underway when they come up the hill.
So McCandless, we got to remember, is on very old tires. So this restart's going to be tricky for him because he doesn't want to spin up the tires, or else Dorman is just going to walk all over him, essentially. So he's got to be gentle on the throttle.
Here we go. Malillo's off. It's McCandless and Dorman on the front row for the restart as they come out of turn number 14 and come up the hill, getting ready for the green flag in stage 2. No more scheduled cautions the rest of the way. Up the hill, green flag back in the air, back underway at Road America, and the Scott Wimmer Open. One car did not go. Chris Wetz is in the grass. Matthew Zwack is in the grass. I think it was David L. Brown that didn't quite get going, and everybody bottled up behind him. They're wrecking at the start-finish line. Nick Miller is around. Devin Mistack also involved as the field's headed to 1. We got one car wide.
That's Dorman.
Yeah, that's Dorman, who was on the outside. for the restart. They're in turn 2.
Wow, I'm impressed that McCandless got as good of a start as he did, but now he's got Blake Reynolds behind him. Reynolds also on the 2-tire strategy, so is Kevin King and Landon Mills back there in 4th. In fact, Mills maybe going to take a look around the outside. Oh, no, Stewart is going to lose it.
Into Gary, no, gets hit by Armstrong. Another car around on exit of the corner, parked in the middle of the racetrack.
That's Kevin King.
That's Kevin King.
Our former leader, and they're going to throw the caution.
Caution is out. King gets around, and he just lost it. I think he got on the gas to avoid getting hit by Nate Stewart, saw him spinning in his mirror, and when he floored it, he just lost grip and went around in front of the field. A couple of cars went spinning, I think, through the grass yet. The 99 Michael Cozy Jr. got pushed out there. Caution for contact for the first time.
Kind of surprised.
Kevin King will be at the back.
I thought it would be a lot worse, considering we had a car becoming a bowling ball down into turn 5, and then you had King spun around, like you said, in front of the field. And it probably was best that they threw the caution, especially because of the wreck on the front stretch. But I kind of expected that we get a big pileup there in turn 5 just because of 2 incidents happening at once.
Yeah. Let's get a replay. A little late. Here we go. That's not Kevin King. That's Kevin King. So you're going to watch the 4. He's behind that gray-looking thing of Tyler Gary. Here he is. He's going to pull out a line, and he goes to hit the brakes. And it breaks, all right. It spins. And then King, like I mentioned, I think you just saw him in the rearview mirror and floored it. And just lost traction and spun the tires.
He was already on the limit. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look like he was trying to get on the throttle. I think it's just that car was so on edge. The little distraction from behind him was enough. It was all he needed for it to start to come around. Again, I was talking earlier about how these are very heavy cars. So as soon as they start to go, especially on road courses, it's really hard to save them. You got to wheel them pretty hard. It especially starts to heat those tires up. And when they start to heat up like that, well, I mean, good luck trying to get a tire that's becoming more and more slippery by the millisecond.
We're trying to kill poor Andy Margot. He gets the free pass. He's 3 laps down. Initially, the call was for everybody to go to the left to let him by. As he's going through the field, they call for everybody to go right so he can go by on the left. That was almost a disaster. Thankfully, Andy got on the brakes in time and avoided plowing into anybody that would have been making the lane change that they were told to make. So he goes by. He's now 2 laps down. Pits are open, and it's hit or miss as far as that. We'll recap all of that in a moment. In the meantime, we'll go to a break. Philip McCandless continues to lead the Scott Wimmer Open from Road America. You're watching FTF.GG. Back here from the virtual Road America here in Wisconsin. Jacob Hitz, Joe Peak here with you. Philip McCandless is your race leader. We're under our second caution of the day, the first one for contact. We're in stage 2. We'll have 7 to go in stage 2 when we get the restart. McCandless and Blake Reynolds are the front row. After that caution flag that came out with Nate Stewart going around and Kevin King going around over in turn 5. That pretty much blocked the track for everybody coming at him. And now we'll try it again here with some different faces up here at the front that we at least get to recognize here. Michael Rosero up there. You got Armstrong making his first career FTF start. He's up inside the top 10 in 6th. And of course, you got Brandon Hawken, who has been one of the fastest guys in the field. He's back to 9th. Why? He took 4 tires while everybody in front of him either stayed out in McCandless or took 2 tires. And of course, as I say that, somebody that took 4 tires is in the top 5. That's Michael Rosero.
The one this extra caution advantages is McCandless here. That's fewer laps under green that he's got to deal with without the fresh tires. So this actually fell into his lap beautifully.
Here they come. Off corner number 14. It's all in McCandless' hands, getting ready for the restart. Up the hill. Waiting for the gas, and down he goes. Green flag. Stage 2 back underway. And a great launch for McCandless, headed to turn 1.
Yeah, that was exactly what he needed here, and Reynolds is going to have to play a little bit of defense. Look at Mills coming up the inside there, getting by Gary. What about behind them? Oh, we got a car piling across the track.
We got big trouble. Blake Bryant and Robert Dorman's off course. Still green.
Yep. Thankfully, when he slid through, that was the only car that he ran into. But,
or the lead.
Oh, and there is the tire difference. There it is. Blake is going to outbrake him probably easily here into turn 5. McCandless is not going to be able to do much to stop that. Now, if he holds on through the corners here, he's going to be hard to get past from Mills. So Mills really needs to get a good run out of a long straight so that there's nothing that Phil can do.
Blake Reynolds takes the lead for the first time. Trouble out of turn 6 into the wall. Tyler Landon, still green.
Oh, and McCandless just went off. McCandless is off as we see another one that looked like through the hurry downs there.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
Ooh. And again,
So the trouble for Landon.
Again, this works out so wonderfully for that 109 car, because I kept harping on how many positions he's going to lose, but well, I said he was taking a gamble, and man, he's he might want to go buy a lottery ticket here, because it's all just been coming up roses for him.
Trying to figure out what caused the caution. There was some contact between Jake Pullen and Jonathan Oates, or no? It was, oh, okay, I got it. Gary Waterworth got sideways coming out of turn 5. He made contact with Cozy. And then Jonathan Oates has to try and avoid the 12 and gets run into from behind by Cosmin Yonishu. The 73 spins in front of traffic, hits the 26 of Kevin McAdams. The 00 is going to go wide here. That Brandt car, there he goes wide. That's what brought out the caution. Not Landon, not McCandless, but that little incident in turn 6.
They had such a good first stage, and now it seems like they're struggling to get it going. And I don't want to really put it on the tires, because it doesn't seem to be happening to those that only took 2 tires, or even our one guy that didn't take any tires. It's all been those that took 4 and are at the back of the pack. I wonder if they're just getting a little over-eager, knowing how hard it is to try to make up positions later. And McCandless is now giving up the ghost. He's actually put in. I don't know about this one, unless they're going to cancel the second stage end here.
Hawken is in. Interesting decision there, unless he's thinking toward the end of the race. can't make it 30 laps, so that ain't going to work. And those in the back half of the field, Pandicio, Ionescu, Waterworth going to come in, Kevin King, McAdams, Wetz, Punkari, Reimer, and on and on and on. But we'll get the one to go here, and they'll re-rack and restack here.
Yeah, I went and checked, and Hawken didn't hit anything. He didn't have any incidents, because I wondered, maybe he got some damage that he feels like he needs to repair. The car's not handling right. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Kevin King is obviously going to want to try and come in and see if he can get some fresh tires, because he's already been disadvantaged. He's got nothing to lose on that one. And they don't have a tire limit, I believe, in this series.
No, they do.
The
box, a really slow stop. He must have had damage for something. He was in the box for 25 seconds there. That's not a 4-tire stop in fuel.
Yeah, let me go
and he
back
did not have a black flag, so it wouldn't have been that. But nonetheless, he comes onto pit road. Yep. So Blake Reynolds is out in front, Landon Mills in second, Tyler Gary third, Alex Kolinick's fourth, Michael Rosero fifth, and Logan Hilton, Joseph Armstrong, Seth Noel, Kwame Scott, and David L. Brown rounding out the top 10. We will have 30 to go. When they come back around for the restart, they will have just 5 to go here in stage 2.
All right, so this is where the experience with the oval stuff definitely comes in handy, trying to be on your toes, because a lot of times on the roadside, the strategy can be a little bit more straightforward, because usually you don't get full course cautions like this, especially here in here on iRacing, as it has to be manually thrown. And you can see we've got even a special sort of system for this series to try and make this work. But those who do have the oval experience in these cup cars are basically going to be able to try and think on the fly and figure out what's the best way to play this. Those who are used to road racing just going straight through might be scrambling a little bit to try and figure out how is best to work this all out. Well,
trouble.
Already double file here.
That's Cosman? No, David Brown. What in the world's David Brown doing? You gonna replay?
So this is out of turn 8, at the end of the hurry downs.
Oh.
Too much curb, yeah. They look pretty flat, but if you take them wrong, it is possible for them to spin you around, especially if he's got a bit of wear on the tires, which he shouldn't really at this point, but you never know. But unfortunately, it is embarrassingly easy to let the car slip up on you, and especially when your guard is a little bit down here under caution. This is the downside to getting a little too relaxed, is you're not hyper focused like you are when the car is at pace, at speed, and you'll do little things that can be kind of silly. So that's probably what happened there, is just dealing with something else and wasn't really paying attention enough to what the car was doing and just came out from under him.
Getting ready to go back to green through 13 now, heading to turn 14. And on this restart, we're right on board with the 4th place car. Alex Kolinick says he takes us through what he sees here on this restart to end caution number 3. Field coming around through turn 14 and getting ready to go up the hill. Blake Reynolds and Landon Mills bring us down for the restart. Let's listen. Trouble, big crash at the start-finish line. Kevin King is in it. Spencer Ray, a huge crash. Parking lot, Seth Noel. Michael Cozy Jr., Michael Frisch. The 83 of David Brown. This is the big one. On the front straightaway, where in the world is Noah Gregson at? Because I think he had something to do with it. A huge crash. at the start-finish line, just past the start-finish line. It started with Nathan Rabideau and Seth Nowell just shy of the start-finish line.
Seth got a little bit of the grass. It's very strange. I'm not sure if he just wasn't paying attention because he just kind of drifted over. And then once his tires hit it, it sucked him over and he overcorrected. And unfortunately, I'm trying to see if anybody made it through without incident. And I don't see anyone except for those that had to come to an absolute crawl. Maybe the 26 of Kevin McAdams.
Nowell has been black flagged. I think the 45 of Lucas Plessel made it through that. I think, unless somebody came across the racetrack and wiped him out. Looks like he made it. I think Cosman made it as well. But you got some heavy hitters involved in this. Nate Stewart, Kevin King, Michael Cozy Jr. Frisch got turned into the wall after the fact by Ryan Nawrocki. Those two both crashed. Let's see, I already mentioned Stewart. McCandless involved in this. David Brown got run over by the 29 of Kevin King, who got run over by Waterworth. Ryan Pandicio got put in the wall. Brett Pocari got spun around.
Plessel in the 45 perhaps had the most miraculous escape. Not sure if we'll see it from here, but this will definitely give us a good idea of what kind of went down. Watch the one, just clips the grass. And that's the chain reaction. Watch the right-hand side for the 45 machine, though. Just squeaks by as the C's open for him.
Both him and Cosman barely squeaked through that. No further penalties for that crash. Just the penalty on Nowell. That was big.
Well, the one car definitely making friends today. As he's unfortunately cost a lot of people some pretty good damage on the cars. And that isn't always the worst thing in the world around here. Yeah, you do need your straight line speed, but as long as the car handles well, probably still going to have a decent pace, especially if you're not fighting for the win and you're not losing, fractions of a or major, major fractions of a tenth there. But this has been very, very stop-start in the second stage. Complete contrast to what we saw in that first stage.
Now, remember, we will not get a caution for the end of stage 2, at least as long as there's not an incident. But we got to get to the end of stage 2 first. 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. Blake Reynolds is your race leader. We're going to go back to break. We're back after this here from Road America. back here from Road America. We'll have 3 laps to go in stage number 2 when we get back under the green flag for the Scott Wimmer Open. Blake Reynolds is your race leader. No, he pitted. Landon Mills is your race leader. We did have some pit stops under this caution flag. The top 10 stayed out on the racetrack. Mills, Gary, Kolnix, Helton, Rosero, Armstrong, Scott, Zwack, Miller, Nawrocki. Everyone else pitted. No, I'm still wrong. How about this? So Blake Reynolds. This still doesn't make sense to me.
Blake Reynolds pitted. So did Jake Poulin. I think potentially Art Reimer and Lucas Plessel did.
Yes. So I was confused just because Reynolds was in front of Wetz, Hawken, and Mistack, who all pitted under the last caution flag. So that's where I was confused at, because I'm like, well, wait, Reynolds pitted 0 laps ago, but Wetz, Hawken, and Mistack pitted 2 ago. That's why. So Reynolds pitted, as well as Plessel, Reimer, Poulin, Tidwell, Doucette, Punkari, Brown, Clapper, Newell, Pandicio, Cozy, Waterworth, Frisch, King, all the way through the rest of the field. It's Mistack, Hawken, Wetz, Dorman, Bryant, McAdams, McCandless, Yonishu that pitted under the last caution, and then everybody else who's been on the racetrack now for 2 cautions without coming to pit road, as they're through the kink now and headed toward Canada Corner to get the restart. And I think we're trying to figure out and make sure we've got everybody in the right order. I hear a lot of chatter over the radio right now with the drivers.
So these guys are honestly probably watching out for Kolnix and Helton, as well as Rosero. They all have 4 fresh tires. Armstrong, Gary, Mills are all still on 2. Kwame Scott, I'm showing not having stopped in his box. I don't know if that's inaccurate, but he's been in pit lane.
That is inaccurate.
Okay.
I think. I would hope. He shouldn't have been able to make it this far. And he was in the box for 50 seconds. So I would hope, or on pit road for 50 seconds. So I would certainly hope he found the time to get in his box. And he did, yeah. So here we go. Ready for the restart. Landon Mills, Tyler Gary on the front row. As the field comes off turn 14. Let's see how far we make it this time. Headed toward the hill. They start the incline. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway from Road America.
Very good jump there from Mills.
Oh, no!
And another one in the grass. 2 of them in the grass.
Multiples. This ain't going to work. But it did. Oh, no, it didn't. There they go. Into the wall. Poulin. Plessel. Caution's out.
Art Reimer got a piece
David
of it.
Brown.
Oh.
It started with Nawrocki. He was the first one I saw in the grass. Actually, no, the second. It was Helton that got in the grass first. Then Nawrocki went out there. He almost had it saved. And then right at the last second, he lost it, bounced off Plessel, and caused another track blocker. How about the 30 of Ryan Doucette through the grass? Look out. And a hard hit for Nawrocki on the other end. We'll get a replay here.
Punkari also got collected on that one, unfortunately, and enough that it actually sent him towing to pit lane. Here's the incident. Kind of took a long time to really unfold, and then when it did, it's the typical chaos we've been seeing on these restarts. Oh. There's no spare cars, Jacob. At some point, the numbers have to dwindle enough that we'll get some clean ones.
No spare cars and no spare brakes. Both crashes now on the front straightaway. Some guys have not been holding the brakes when they wreck and they come flying across the track and more people get involved. At least it doesn't look like they've been on the brakes. Like that. I understand you only have 3 wheels, but brakes still work on 3 of the wheels. Brett Punkari has gone home. That's the end for stage 2. So Landon Mills, Mickey Mouse is a stage win here. It is what it is. He wins the stage because he was in the right place at the right time, and we didn't make it past start-finish line much. But he wins stage 2. 45 laps is the distance. Now, hold on a second. Remember, there's a time limit to sessions. 2 hours and 35 minutes is the time limit. ATVO says we ain't finishing this race as far as laps are concerned. I don't know how it thinks it knows that, but I'm only getting 37 projected laps out of this deal. Some 8 short.
Well, it's taking the average, so I suspect it's been thrown off by our multiple caution laps that we've had. So that's what the issue is here. If we stay yellow, then theoretically, yeah, we could run out of. We have what looks like an hour 40 left to go in this race before it gets called on time. But man, I think if you add up what little running we did have under green, that last stage at least had 1 lap under caution added together. I don't know.
You mean under green?
Or yes, under green.
Yeah, you're right. Because we're not actually throwing cautions, I think you're right. That's why it's shortening the projected. If we were actually throwing cautions, hell, it might be longer. But I don't think we're going to make everybody wait until we hit the actual stage to get their points. So they're going to pit here, re-rack, and then go, even though technically there will still be a lap to go on the stage. We will have moved on, and we're focused on the finish.
Yeah, here they all come. Yep. Everybody's in.
Time to pit. Oh, maybe not. And these are the guys that haven't pitted or pitted the longest to go that are going to stay out. Then it makes sense to me, frankly, because the complexion of this race has really been leaning towards a lot of cautions. We haven't been able to get away with it, even after multiple talking to from the race control and whatnot. These guys are having trouble getting it together. I think what this means is, since the others will probably have to get a stop in there too, they've got track position. They're still in a good spot. A lot of discussion over the radios. I understand tempers being a little bit flared at this point. Some discussion about how Naraki got into the grass and okay. I'm never going to get that moment back. All right. That was an interesting conversation.
Were they arguing for who gets a penalty here, or because
I think they were arguing about who gets a penalty, or who should get a penalty and who shouldn't. I guess I'm not entirely sure because I didn't catch the entire conversation. I only caught the latter.
I came in halfway as well. But there was plenty of consternation. That was very clear on that one, and that's honestly what you don't want in this situation. You need your mind to be focused on the task at hand, and these guys are a little bit too caught up in what's happening, unless they can really compartmentalize all of this and put that stuff away when the green flag flies. But me personally, I've always had a little bit harder time with that. It's, don't even get yourself thinking about it. Don't start talking with the others about it. Better to just sit and worry about what you're doing.
Taking a look at what's upcoming here on FTF.gg. The NASCAR qualifying iRacing series is back. It's back on Thursday. We're at Mid-Ohio. I'm not even sure I have the track. I think I'm going to have to buy it. But
that's one of my favorites.
It's a track that, I'm not a road course racer. I do enjoy watching them from time to time, particularly the Indy cars. That's kind of what I gravitate towards when it comes to road courses is, yeah, watch the Indy cars, NASCAR. And other than that, unless it's Le Mans and Daytona, I can't really say I care. Obviously, Joe, I know you're completely different on that, but we're at Mid-Ohio on Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern is when we go live. You want to ask about a booth? I don't know. Presumably I'm there, and presumably Zach Johnson's there to produce. That's what I know right now. But we're going to have a lot of fun with Road to Pro, the NASCAR qualifying iRacing series throughout the rest of the summer in through September, as we try to find out the top 20 drivers in the field on who's going to be racing their way toward the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. After that, we don't do FTF for a while because Jordan at Bottom Split's going to pick us up for the next couple of weeks. Our next race for FTF isn't until July 23rd when we are at
I think we're getting going here.
Indy. Not New Hampshire. Pocono? There's no way that you're letting Pocono on the schedule. There's Winstill after that, the EA Hal 500K. That's at the end of the month, July 30th. Nonetheless, pace car is in, ready for the restart. Green flag back in the air. The front row, Landon Mills and Tyler Gary. Green flag.
Think we got this sorted out this time, at least down into turn one. Rest of the corner is going to be a question mark.
Already some banging for that fourth spot, Kolonix and Armstrong, as they make their way down to turn two.
So far, it's faring pretty well.
Zwack really stepped out. Michael Rosero, black flag, lane change before the restart zone, or before the start-finish line. That's third place. That's going to have to go to the back and pit.
Ooh, Armstrong's going to try and get this one away from Kolonix.
Tommy Scott! Oh. Saved it.
Starting to get mostly single file now down through the hurry downs. A little bit of side-by-side in there. So it looks like Blake Reynolds is in a hurry to try and get his way back forward. He's overtaken McAdams. And there we got a spinner.
That's Kolonix. Fourth place. Just lost it on exit. Drove it in through a little too hot. Got the curbs and went around.
No caution on that one. Single car spin. He just picks it back up and we carry on. So looks like Mills really taking advantage of this track position I was talking about. Oh, no.
It's Logan Helton. We're good. Through the kink. Another one off. That's Robert Dorman. We got trouble in the kink. Around goes the 40. Lane Tidwell. Single car spin. Another one against the wall. That's Kolonix. Jonathan Oates is doing a burnout. Caution.
And that
Jonathan Oates. Okay, so the caution is for Oates, who made contact with Jake Pullen coming out of the carousel. Pullen got the grass, slammed into Oates, and then Oates broke the right front suspension, hit the wall, and then came back in front of traffic and almost took everything Kevin King knew and loved. Holy cow.
I almost wonder if it was because Tidwell got turned around by Pullen, and Laren got involved in it as well. That was out through the kink.
That was after this. And I think this is it because of the way the 73 comes back across the racetrack. Tidwell never came back up like this.
Whew.
We got another one off. Kolonix again. All right. There's the replay of that incident with Tidwell. And Pullen is fired up on the radio.
Yeah, there are some people who would like to have some serious words with others around here. We've lost so far Andrew Cootie, looks like Justin Malillo, Tinsley, Looks like Lucas Plessel, Brett Ponkari is out. Devin Mistak has been out for some time. But shockingly, with all the incidents we've had, there have been a lot of drivers that have tried to get back out there and run. But unfortunately, it's put them multiple laps down. And I think that's what's causing some of the issue that a lot of the drivers have with others is they think that some of those that are many laps down are causing these incidents.
So the 53, our pace car, Justin Melillo, the field will catch up to him eventually. Yeah.
So we still have around 35 to 37 drivers that are still rolling out of our 41 starters in this race.
Holodix is on pit road. He might be done. Devin Mistak is out. Brett Ponkari's out. Lucas Plessel's out. Scotty Smith is on the racetrack, 2 laps down. Make it 3 down. Wyatt Tinsley is out still. I'm assuming just his power went out or something. And then Andrew Cootie made it a lap before he parked the car.
You know, at this rate, because apologies, I mentioned Justin Melillo. He's actually not in this race. He's the pace car, effectively, right, on this one. He actually might overtake some of the lapped cars, or some of the retired cars in laps. He's been out that much in this race. There he is.
Yeah.
Two more laps out, and yeah, he'll be ahead of Wyatt Tinsley, who's currently scored in 41st.
He's actually not moving. That was a live picture. So I think they're just forcing him to do it by themselves because Justin is quite tired of driving these guys around the racetrack, chauffeuring them around.
Well, credit where credit is due. They did get a lot farther along on the lap. It was kind of messy coming up to there, eventually getting to the kink, but they did manage to get the start down, the start itself. It's just the rest of the lap now that they got to work on.
Nate Stewart is the lucky dog. Stewart is going to get back on the lead lap here. So after his accident, he gets a little shot at redemption here. Get back on the lead lap and try to get himself back into some decent points.
We're down to 1 hour 27 left on the clock. So,
well, that's the projected time. Can we pull up the official clock, Zach?
That should be the official clock that I'm looking at. Yeah, see, there you go.
What the heck? See, I could have sworn that the timer that was up there was...
Well,
I thought that was the projected. Oh, that's... No. I forgot the race distance. I thought we were doing 45. I thought we were doing 40. We're doing 45. It's been showing we'll be 5 laps short. Brain dead over here. We're good.
Yeah, we're averaging. Well, I mean, the caution laps are going about 4 minutes a lap here. So, I hate to do this because Zach knows this is a bad idea, but I'm going to try and do math. But 4 minutes a lap, and they've got 24 to go. So that should thankfully be a little bit easier. But let me get my calculator.
So our pal Blake McCandless is at South Boston Speedway. Doing some film work. James Pike's also there working tonight. They just had a 17-car at least pile up on the front straightaway. Yeah. So if you think we're doing bad here at Road America, you ain't seen nothing yet. Parking lot on the front straightaway happened right in front of Michaelis. Posted something on Twitter a little while ago from his camera post, and it's ugly.
So if we keep going on these cautions at 4 minutes a lap, and it's nothing but the cautions like we've had since the end of stage 1, we're looking at another hour and a half, basically, a little over an hour and a half. And considering we got an hour and 25, that means we will run out of time. It won't be by as much as I would have thought, but yeah, it's they do actually have to clean this up. They're not going to make all 45 laps here.
Yeah. I don't believe we have missed the distance on any race this year because of time. That may change tonight. And next week we go to Atlanta. So if you think they've junked a lot of stuff tonight, just wait until next week when they go to the place that shouldn't be a plate track, but acts like one.
Ah, so they're going to try out the new Atlanta, huh?
Yep, and thankfully we're not broadcasting that. That's going to be Jordan Worth's problem next week. So,
well, that's just foot to the floor and you go, right? That should be simple, right?
If it's anything like the test sessions Melillo held on Friday that I was in, you're going to be behind the pace car a lot of wrecks in that one. Just because no yellow line rule or no red line rule, you're in trouble.
There have been some calls from the drivers here to switch to single file restarts. I'm a bit surprised race control hasn't told them to do that. They're going to stay double file here. That would definitely help alleviate some of the checkups and the problems as drivers get a little bit more spread out.
I don't know. I mean, the front straightaway is pretty narrow, so it's tough to do double wide. But if you go single file and everybody pulls down a line anyway and the track's blocked. So I don't think that's the way to do it.
But they'll be spread out. The problem is they're trying to sort out these positions as they come into the corners, and yeah, it's more drivers in a concentrated space. So they'll be more spread out if they have them all single file. But I mean, I'm not race control. It's easy for me to talk from here and not have to deal with what they're dealing with. But we'll see how Gary does.
Here we go. Landon Mills, Tyler Gary on the front row once again. 23 laps to go, or an hour and 23 minutes, whatever comes first, left in this race in the Scott Wimmer Open. Up the hill, green flag.
Reynolds getting really squirrely there to the inside, but he held it well.
Armstrong trying to take that third spot away, and he does from Nick Miller. Here comes Blake Reynolds as well, and that 66 trying to plow his way forward. Around the outside of Miller, headed to 3. Make this turn 5. I can count.
Well, they do name them weird here, and Reynolds is looking very strong on the brakes. Unfortunately, he's also very loose. He catches the car. Nice job, everybody, down into the corner. I'm not seeing any melees yet.
Everybody made it through 5 just fine. How about turn 6? They're going to make it. How about Brandon Hawken back into the top 10? He's now in 6th with Kwame Scott on the inside. Hawken gets the launch off and will take the spot away. Through the down-ups, the hurry-ups, whatever they're called.
Hurry downs and...
Oh, I wasn't even close.
Miller and Hawken, the highest 2 on 4 fresh tires right now. So I get the sense that the others might be starting to struggle because it seems like Hawken's been starting to pick them off what little green flag running we get here and there.
How about the battle for third? Blake Reynolds, Joseph Armstrong, one of the closest battles on the racetrack. They went through the kink. Here they head down to the Canada corner. Reynolds looks to the inside. Oh, Armstrong got the grass. He goes wide. He's in the tires. He's off. He's junked it. Armstrong way off course. We stay green. It's single car. It's off the racing line, but he got the tires in the grass, and that's all it takes, and he is way back there now.
Eventually crawls his way on. He's in 28th, and he's got to have some damage because he had a big thunk there in the nose coming into the tires. Oh, and he's going to get tangled up with somebody.
Andy Margot that he bounced off of. Yeah, his left front is not touching the racetrack right now. Battle for fourth, Miller and Hawken.
Hawken's going to take that one. He's got a little ways to go up ahead now, so it's going to be more about his pace from here unless Nick Miller's able to get back past him once again. It's a good run from Doucette. He's going to try and see
trouble. Pulling. What the heck is he doing? He just full bore pulled to the inside at the end of the front straightaway and basically aimed for the wall. I think he's just bored and having fun, but he took a heck of a shot into the tires anyway, so. But, yeah.
Got a battle still between Miller and Helton here. Oh, and actually Miller just took a big hit from Helton, who was not taking no for an answer, shoved him out of the way.
And Helton says he didn't even get a contact registered on his screen, so not intentional there. Just a little wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I did see some connection issues, I think, with Miller before that they came together there. So I wonder if that's what caused that. We just didn't see him in the place that he was actually. But Doucette still here trying to give chase. No, excuse me, that's not Doucette. That is Cozy Jr. on Scott.
How about Kevin King marching his way back through the field? He's now 13th, getting by Michael P. Frisch. Michael Rosero going to follow him. Rosero having a nice comeback after he had to pit. After he changed lanes before the start-finish line on the last restart.
So 21 to go now, and we're finally getting some full green flag laps.
Trouble. Scotty Smith is off again. Canada corner. That's the 95 Clapper Newell.
Yeah, that's Bill Mitchell Bend. Must have spun it up coming off there. It's easy to do. So 2 cars, 2 separate incidents, 2 consecutive corners. But we stay green, and you can see how bad the damage is on him. Yeah.
Yeah, his left front is broken. Can he make it to pit road? Yes, looks like he will. Nobody coming from behind him.
So, all right, so here's your gap. Hawken is 3 seconds behind Reynolds. So that's up to the podium. Now up to the leader, Brandon is 5.5 seconds back. So we'll watch his pace. We'll see what he can do. If we can manage to keep from having any big incidents, especially now that they're starting to spread out, this might actually come down to who has the pace. But Mills, Gary, and Hawken are on 14, 14, and 10 laps each, respectively, since their last pit stop. Compare that to Reynolds and Doucette, 8 laps since there. So they've got the most recent stop in for fuel and tires.
David Brown just had a moment going into turn 8. Locked the tires up big time, trying to avoid clobbering Chris Sweats. And then got a little wide and almost had some issues rejoining the racetrack. But he's okay, all good there.
Ooh, and
Tyler Gary just went off. Second place. That puts Blake Reynolds into second. He went off going into Canada corner, just overdrove it.
Yeah, Reynolds saw that one coming. He gave him plenty of space on corner exit and just streaked on by. So good heads up by the 66. There's nothing but air between himself and Mills now.
Oh, that's Dorman. He's off. I believe that's also Canada corner. Tyler Landon is broken. That's coming out of the kink. He has stopped and towed it. He went from left to right and slammed into the wall and broke the right front suspension on that thing. Joseph Armstrong has fallen out of the server, so he's now out.
Another one for Kevin King there. He's up to 11th after taking over Rosero. Noel in behind them with his black flag earlier on has not given up on this one either. But they're going to go single file down the Moraine sweep, and I don't see anybody close enough that they can attack now.
Tyler Gary losing a little bit of time to Reynolds.
King is looking really strong. I got to give him credit for the fortitude he's had to not let this one get away from him completely yet. Trying to at least make a top 10 out of it. And honestly, if his pace is still good, I wonder if we could see a top 5, as he's got to make up about 7 to 8 seconds.
Kevin King is still looking for his first win on the season. He's come mighty close. Third at Nashville last week. He finished 30th at Daytona Road, but he led 2 laps. He had a strong car there. 7th at Gateway, 6th at Charlotte, 2nd at Chicagoland. He finished 11th back at Circuit of the Americas, the only other road course that we've been at this season. He had a lot of high hopes coming into tonight's race. Some things have fallen apart now, and he's just trying to catch back up.
Got some fans of Andy Margot. Unfortunately, the 48 has been sitting in pit lane for quite some time with a meatball flag, so he's required repairs. And actually, I'm not getting a number on how long he's been in there, and it doesn't look like he's actually in the car in the sim, so he may have actually called it a night.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. He is multiple laps down in the... well, he's 2 down now. I think he just towed it and may have just given up. Devin Mistak has parked the car, done for the night as well. Now, Blake Reynolds was 0.6 faster than Landon Mills that last time by. He's still a 1.5 seconds back.
Hawkins was 0.2 seconds slower than Mills. Granted, I think he did have a pass in that last lap. This one for sure will check on that again, see if he's able to try and maybe make some inroads on the leader and get back up there after he had such a fast car early on. There's no reason to give up quite yet, and especially because we're not completely out of the woods. I said obviously everybody's spread out, but a caution could still happen, and that'd actually be a good thing for Brandon Hawken, because that'll allow him. Oh, and actually Hawken just had enough. There you see him on the screen there, getting back on. Doucette now catching him because of that error.
Big bobble right there. Has trouble for somebody, Jonathan Oates. I believe his car just hand grenaded. Maybe not. I heard Cosman say something about blowing up, but it obviously isn't him because he's still running. Thought it might have been Oates because he was off the pace, but it's not him. Cool.
Still some intense battles here, and King is working on Miller now. This is for 9th position, so he's gotten into 10th since we last looked at him. Top 10, and already hounding this 19. Let's see what he does off of the final turn. If he can find the grip on the car, it looks decent. So Miller's in, though. Miller's pitting.
Making what I think is going to be his last pit stop of the day, maybe. Joined by Michael Rosero. Perhaps the pit window is open now for those guys. They've been pushing it. Now your race leader, he's on a 17-lap stint. Yes, that's with cautions. But as long as Mills isn't planning to pit in the next 2 laps, he should be able to make it to the end if he pits.
Yeah, I think he's sitting pretty right here. But he's also got Blake Reynolds trying to push him to the finish. And Reynolds last time by 2.77, Mills 2.079, so another 0.2 quicker. And I think they are easily dropping Tyler Gary behind them in the 88 car. Yeah, he is absolutely no threat. Seconds off their pace.
Tyler Landon has parked it. He's gone home. Looks like we should be plenty fine as far as laps are, or as far as time is concerned now. Projected 37 minutes. We've got an hour and 10 minutes left in sim to complete. So things looking good on that front as Reynolds got a little wide there out of the kink. Gary Waterworth just went off. There you see him now. Back there in 15th.
Got a nice little battle coming into the kink, yeah. This is among
Wets,
those
Frisch, and
top...
McCandless. Whoa, man. Blake Reynolds about dropped his lunch coming out of turn 14. He was sawing on that thing.
Yeah, he's pushing hard, and he has to right now. Like I said, he's been catching up.
Gary in.
So last lap, Reynolds 207.9, 208.2, another 0.3 chopped away. Tyler in the 88. Oh, a lot of them in.
Logan Helton, Kwame Scott, Kevin King. Yep. So this is the window to make it to the end on fuel.
Seeing who has recently pitted. Now, Rocky pitted 7 laps ago for guys like McCandless, Zwack. So they're going to be mighty tight if they're trying to stretch this to the finish. Coming down into 3.
I think if you haven't pitted in the last 2 laps, I don't think you're going to be able to make it to the end.
It's Vets who is under threat here. McCandless is going to try and send it up the inside here into turn 5. He's pretty good on the brakes, maybe too good. Oh, and look at that.
Oh.
Frisch with the survival instincts abandoned it, and actually there you go. Great fair play there from McCandless, who gives the spot back.
I'm going to say McCandless almost got 2 for the price of 1. Blake Reynolds is clipping the grass left, right, and center. He did it coming out of the kink there. He did it coming out of turn 11. And now he is going down to the Canada corner, turn 12. I think his tires are shot, but he's been pushing really hard on this run trying to catch up to Landon Mills.
So I have seen Blake do incredible things on road courses with stock cars. He races, or used to race in the majors quite frequently, and there was one where he'd actually managed in a race at Watkins Glen where there were no cautions to lap the field. And
oh my,
he is, if left to his own devices, he can be an absolute force. But for now, he's going to have nothing but clear air in front of him. Mills has got to hope that these fresh tires are going to help him try and pull an undercut to stretch away from Blake.
Yep. Mills on pit road now. Headed to his box all the way down toward the end of pit road. Does not miss his box at all. He's in pretty nicely.
So there's
Blake Reynolds now leads Brandon Hawken. Go ahead.
There's 2 sides to this story when you're trying this undercut. Yes, you get the laps on the fresh tires, and actually that's probably the bigger advantage there because you have this fresh rubber while the other driver is on older rubber. However, you have to take the tires longer. Now, if you're good at management, it's kind of a non-issue. But if you tend to burn up your tires quickly, you could be suffering, especially if your rival is very good on older tires and finds himself starting to catch you towards the end, and he pitted much later than you. So it's one of those things that could go a few ways.
Landon Mills, fuel only on his pit stop, no tires. The Lightning McQueen strategy for Landon Mills. He comes out in 7th. His tire's already 18 laps old. He's going to try and nurse those things all the way home to the end. That's an old strategy.
Not going to work. Mills is going to be hating life. I can guarantee you, yes, he's done a lot of these under caution, but anybody else who takes tires, it's about 10 seconds. And if they get 10 laps to try and make it up, and right now we got 16 to go, that's easily going to be in their favor.
McCandless and Frisch all over each other like a cat on Velcro right behind Mills. As Blake Reynolds is in for his last stop. Hawken comes off 14. He's coming in. Ryan Doucette about spun out. He's coming in. Cozy will stay out. He will take the race lead.
All right, so Not too much of a difference, which means that Blake Reynolds is not going to get the advantage of having too many fresher tire laps. So I think what's going to happen here is this actually is going to indeed, well, no, because Mills didn't take tires, actually. Excuse me. I was still stuck on the idea that.
Hold on. Reynolds didn't either.
Ooh.
Yeah, Reynolds didn't either. Hold on. Hawken. Okay, so Doucette didn't. Hawken did. He's taken 4.
See, I still think this is the right call. 14 seconds. Compare that to Reynolds, 9.4. So it's not even a 10 seconds difference. It is 5 seconds that he has to make up in comparison.
The tire's a little bit fresher for Reynolds. But only by a couple laps, you got to wonder when that's going to balance out, because we saw how bad Reynolds was squealing those rear tires, especially on corner exit.
Now, temperatures have gone down significantly. As mentioned, it was 100 Fahrenheit on the track surface. It's down to 87. I wonder if that's what's informing them here, because it's getting later in the day, and I wonder if they're finding the track is not chewing up the tires nearly as bad.
And that's all solely based off of the sun, because the air temperature has not changed. The air temp is still 74 degrees as there goes Hawken around the outside of Rosero. That is back outside. That's for 11th. Not even, because Helton. Oh, that's Helton. Dang it. Too many red, white, and blue cars that looked the same. That's my one complaint with the patriotic weekend, is you got guys that look the same. Byron and Reddick had the same thing happen at Charlotte back in the 600. David Brown is around. Cozy's in for his last stop. Look out, Chris Wetz. Oy. So Landon Mills will retake the lead. The gap back to second place, 1 second.
And critically, they're on the same strategy as well. So that works out well for Mills, as long as he has the pace on old rubber. McCandless behind them.
Yeah, I can't believe he's still staying out there. It's been 22 laps now. No, I'm reading the wrong thing. It's been 10 laps since he has pitted. Gonna be close for him. Same with Zwack. They're on the same strategy. Michael P. Fresh just came on. Cozy is now leaving pit road. He takes fuel only.
So who is our highest on 4 fresh tires? McAdams has been out for 11 laps. So again, that's a close one. Yeah, it is indeed Hawken, who has kept Helton behind him, who is still pretty fast in a straight line, it seemed, down the front stretch, but was not able to capitalize. So here's the difference right now. Hawken, 18 seconds behind Mills, 14 laps to go. So about 1.2, 1.3 seconds a lap quicker. Hawken really needs to hustle. Unfortunately, we're not going to get his first real hot lap time until this lap, because the last one included his pit exit. But for reference, Mills and Reynolds are running. Looks like Mills ran a 2:08.2 last time by.
They're about a second off from their fastest times, which for both of them, a 2:07.4.
Oof, big slide there. Coming
Kevin's
through the hurry downs.
Company. He's got Nate Stewart, who's a lap down, and he's got Ryan Doucette for position all over him.
Stewart's got the inside into the kink. Too wide through there is difficult, and McAdams holds tight. Doucette.
Kevin just said, I've been trying to let you go. Go.
Now Doucette wants a piece of this, and he's not going to be able to get by the 4. But this is slowing them all up significantly, and Cozy Jr. is getting ever closer.
Yeah. Cozy has made his final stop. Kevin has not. The gap is half a second for the race lead between Landon Mills and Brandon Hawken. Nope, Blake Reynolds. I can read.
Okay, so the last time by 2:08.2. Consistency from Mills. 2:07.2, a second faster for Blake Reynolds. He is looking very, very strong here. And if he keeps that up, then he'll not only be past Mills, he'll be a half a second ahead of him.
He is coming quick.
As for Hawken, last lap a 2:08.6. Well, fresh tires not working out for the 099. Not like I thought they were.
So last time by, Reynolds was a second faster. 1 second faster. A 2:07.3 to a 2:08.2 from Mills. He's on his back door, headed to the carousel.
Reynolds probably going to have this one pretty easily if that is his actual pace advantage here. Oh, man.
Of course,
Under braking, that 66 car is just incredible compared to Landon. And let's see if he looks to the inside down to the Canada corner. No, not quite. I think maybe he's waiting for the front stretch.
I think he's just trying to pressure that 25 into a mistake. And of course, my Rick Allen moment, not listening to my commentator. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to
the
it.
same thing you did. Yeah, well. Oh, crap. All right, well. 12 to go this time by. Mills pulls away a little bit going into the corner. But here comes Reynolds. He's got the draft. He's got the power on an exit. Up the hill. 12 to go at the stripe.
Blake absolutely nailed the exit of 14, but as he's gaining, I don't think he has enough straightaway. He's going to look for it, and he's going to try it. He doesn't get the overlap, and Mills will shut the door.
Oh, but he drove it in deep. Here comes Reynolds. He got a great launch, a great corner from Blake Reynolds. Into turn 2. Oh, man, tight squeeze. Still side by side.
Supreme trust between those two. He gave him just a car's width down to the apex, nothing more. Trusted that Blake was not going to track out into him. They just about scrubbed doors.
Here we go. Turn 5. Defensive line for Mills. Now he moves over. Reynolds on the inside. Door to door. A little wide they both go. Headed to 6. Right up the hill. Onto the Corvette bridge. Still side by side. Can Mills hold it on the outside line? Yes! Now to 7.
Turns back in his favor, but he's pinched down a little bit. Oh, man, Blake is racing him hard, but Landon's giving it right back at every turn.
Matthews whack with issues. He's just disconnected. Blake Reynolds thought he might have the exit. Here they go. Into 9. Mills with the advantage for the corner, and he will hang on to the lead. Oh, maybe not. Crossover in the carousel.
Oh, gives him a hello. And if this could end bad. This could end bad if they both try to take this side by side through the kink. He's going to attempt it, just about making contact with him, but they're clean.
And Gary is 9.5 seconds back, so he'd need a lot of help from these two to catch him in these final 11.5 laps, a little less than that, into 12. They both drive it in really, really deep. Mills goes wide, catches the gravel, and that's it. Blake Reynolds retakes the lead.
How much did they use in that, though? You said it would take a lot for Gary to catch them. That was a lot of side-by-side racing, and I could see them slipping and sliding a fair bit. They still have 12 laps to go, remember. They got to try and manage those tires because they are going to be screaming by the end.
How about the battle for 4th between teammates? Ryan Doucette, Michael Cozy Jr., Brandon Hawken closing in on that battle. Oh, by the way, but looking at lap times, let's see when Hawken crosses the stripe. Hawken only 2 seconds faster than Mills. A 2:09 for him, a 2:11.7 for Mills, a 2:10.8 for your race leader in Blake Reynolds. Yes, they were battling, but Hawken is a coming. As we got one on pit road, that's Kevin, I think, finally. Yep, he's on pit road.
Our viewers have to remember that Hawken is on fresher tires by many, many laps here. For him to not be able to make as good a pace a much better pace than guys like Reynolds and Mills, who are running side by side for about half the lap. That is extremely telling. I could have sworn this was going to be a tires is king sort of race, but that is apparently not the situation.
Kevin looks like he has parked it, maybe? No. Okay. ATVO just having a moment. Coming to 10 to go this time, and Blake Reynolds is out in front. For Reynolds this season, he's only looking for win number 3 on the year. He's made 16 starts. His last start back at Daytona at the road course, finished 11th there. He won at Circuit of the Americas back at the end of March, so he already has one road course win this season. Brandon Hawken with the other win when we were at the Daytona road course.
I got to think that one was special, probably for Blake Reynolds taking the victory at COTA, hailing from Texas. A home win is always just that little bit more important. Look at how much distance he's been putting on Mills. Almost makes me wonder if he wasn't actually racing as hard as I was thinking, because for him to already be a second and a half up, I wonder if he's just trying to play it safe and try not to make too risky a moves there on the 125.
.207.3 for Reynolds. A 209.2 for Hawken. Fresh tires.
Cozy Jr.'s in.
Yeah, Cozy just pitted again. What the heck? He's in again. Not taking tires. Taking 6 seconds of fuel.
He short-fueled it.
But he pitted for 9 seconds before.
That must
go after the leaders. What?
I'm not sure. He either didn't
Another
top
one
up
in.
enough.
Who's that?
That's David Brown.
He's back in 18th.
He was also in on lap 30. So either he also short fueled, or maybe the fuel situation isn't quite what we thought it was here.
You know, because of the amount of cautions that we had, I wonder if that fuel off the fuel mileage that iRacing was calculating, and now it's burning some of these guys.
Yeah.
In the latter stages, because we never actually threw the caution flag. Spencer Ray's on pit road as well. I don't think these guys can make it, and I think we're going to have to eat some crow.
The thing is, though, I guess. Whoa, and big accident.
Oh, trouble, Hawken!
That is Hawken off. That is Tidwell that made the contact. He was laps down. And Tidwell puts his hands up on that one.
Brandon Hawken was battling Doucette, was alongside of him, and Tidwell takes him out in Canada corner.
I think Hawken can consider the win out of his hands at this stage. He hasn't had the pace. Now he's had an incident.
Kevin King is in. That's P6. They cannot make it to the end on fuel the way this is going on.
Wow, did not expect the fuel tanks to be that far shy. As down into the first corner, Hawken's still fighting it. This is Scott in the 122, and he's not able to get it. Now, I was about to say, the only thing I could see working out for Hawken here is if the fuel strategy is maybe slightly better for him. But the 099, I honestly, I would not bank on it, especially since we've been staying green for some time now.
Now, he pitted the same lap as Reynolds, which was later than everybody else inside the top 10. Inside the top 9, rather, because Cozy's already made his stop. So, unless those guys that are pitting are just short, know they can't save enough, so they're splitting this kind of in half and going 9-9, or maybe 7-7, 8-8, to kind of split the difference of what's left. That is possible. But they're definitely not running out now because they were able to make it some 18 laps earlier. Yes, that was with cautions and everything, but still.
Don't need to go to it, but the 6 of Spencer Ray just went off in Canada corner, bounced off the wall. He keeps going.
Just came off pit road, too, and that's a shame for him. He's inside the top 20. So Reynolds stays out. Landon Mills stays out. Tyler Gary's coming through 14 now. He's pitting. Third place on pit road.
So does Doucette follow, or does he stay out?
It's going to stay out. Helton will as well. Now, if Hawken comes in, we know it's all busted.
Exactly. And yeah, man, this has been a wild one strategically. And that's what I was telling you about earlier. The people who can think on their toes are going to be able to reap the rewards. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is that there are a few that are a little bit
trouble
more
right in front of the leader. Robert Dorman gets turned by Jonathan Oates. That's turn 5. And Dorman is not happy. That's right in front of your race leader and Blake Reynolds where that happened. Dorman finally gets it rolling.
Doesn't look like Mills has caught up a huge amount on that one.
No. And I don't think it really affected Reynolds in the grand scheme of things since they went off track. So Zwack is now back, it looks like. Is that him? No. I don't know who we were just looking at coming off pit road.
I think that was Nick Miller. Well.
Oh, and Mills is off. Mills gets wide. That's turn 12. Just drove it in too deep and got all 4 tires in the gravel.
This is the other downside to trying to run the tires long. The older they get, the worse they're going to be into these corners. You have to back up your brake markers and try to anticipate that. So Mills probably not going to take tires this late, especially with what short stops we've seen from everybody else. He's basically worked himself into this position.
Mills is in. So he gives up.
Yeah, just getting that splash and dash.
Ryan Doucette is in. Logan Helton stays out. Hawkins stays out. Kwame Scott will stay out as well.
So let's see. Helton on 10 laps.
Landon Mills just got a black flag. Hold on. Landon Mills has a black flag.
I wonder if he sped into pit lane. Let me double check and see. It was close. It could have been that.
Oh, wait. There was a spot. He'd climb up to 47 consistently. I think it was speeding for Mills. Yeah, 40 seconds in the box. He's now down and away.
So Reynolds really has this in his hands now. He does not need to push. There's nobody that's anywhere near him. Even when he comes in, or we're assuming when he comes in to get that last bit of fuel to get to the finish, I think the 66 just basically has to cruise and look out for the car.
Oh. Cozy and Kevin King. That's 6th going into turn 6.
Yeah, so King, his recovery, I mentioned maybe a top 5 feasible. He's about 7 seconds away from that. He'll need a lot of speed to try and catch up to Tyler Gary, but we have seen mistakes out of the 88 up to now. So
leader is in. Blake Reynolds on pit road. Last stop of the day. And Logan Helton is a mile and a half back.
Yeah, Helton just now coming up to turn 14. Reynolds still has to get to his spot, though. Maybe this is closer than we anticipate. No, Helton still needs to stop, too. He's on 10 laps. Yeah, there he is.
Hawkin will stay out, though. So Hawkin is going to take the race lead. Barely.
This is lap 9. Reynolds is rolling.
He's gone.
Man. What was the... Well, we won't know.
Where's Tyler Gary? Cromie Scott's on pit road. Tyler Gary, the next guy to pit, just got to the start-finish line. So he is still way back on Reynolds. Some 13 seconds.
If Hawkin manages to bring this home, it'd be 15 laps. Do we know what the longest green flag run we've seen from anybody has been?
Without cautions, you're looking at it.
I think you're right.
By far the longest.
We went to lap 9 on the first stint, so we know that that's up to here is definitely doable. But then how far past is the big question, and does he have to fuel save as well? Because Reynolds is about 5 seconds behind, because Brandon's strategy can get him the track position, but if he can't keep it up, then there's not much point, because him having to lift and coast too much into the corners is going to give Blake Reynolds a very easy time overtaking.
Well, I figured that with the stages and everything, the way they were at, you could probably make it at least 12 laps. Because you got to figure a little bit of insurance before the stage ends, so you can at least make it 10. A little bit of insurance just in case we got a caution or something funky. And side by side between teammates here for 5th, Doucette and Cozy, the Logitech G Altus teammates.
Now, in most cases, 6 to go would be pretty close to the end, but we got to remember, we're talking 208, 209 laps just to get around here. So there's still 10 plus minutes left in this race.
Oh my goodness, Cosmin Arneshu almost just crapped in Brandon Hawkins' lap. He got wide and spun it right in front of Hawkin on corner exit of the final corner. I mean, he needs a dude wipe.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it. I'd love an onboard here with Hawkin, because he chose what was definitely the more risky side. Watch this. Yeah, I mean, he kind of had to pick it pretty quickly, but it worked out. I probably would have tried to go right there.
Yikes. How about the battle for 8th? Landon Mills and Philip McCandless. Here comes Mills to the inside. He had the speeding penalty. Blows by McCandless like he's standing still. Take that spot away. McCandless should be able to make it to the end, even though he pitted 7 laps ago.
Unfortunately for Mills, it's another 15 seconds up to Helton. So I think this 8th place is probably as high as he's going to see.
Well, unless somebody wrecks.
Yeah, but everybody's probably just trying to think long-term on this one. It's been such an exhausting race, a very long race out here today. I think these guys just want this over with.
Brandon Hawkin is getting his lead eaten up by Blake Reynolds. Even though we think that we're pretty sure that Hawkins still has to pit. Coming to 4 to go this time by, and whoa, baby, a little wide coming out of Canada corner.
Yeah, I think he's trying to carry the speed through those apexes. I think he's trying to fuel save. Let's see what he does this time by. This is certainly not the end-all, be-all here, but this will be telling. Nope.
Here he comes.
That's it.
So Hawkins in. Don't speed. Don't speed. He's good. Blake Reynolds retakes the lead.
I'm thinking a top 5 for Hawkin here, potentially. Michael Cozy Jr. is currently in that 5th spot. So once he goes by, that's the last chance. Then it's Ryan Doucette who would put him down outside of the top 5. Doucette is, well, actually pretty close behind him. Hawkins still trying to get to his stall.
And he makes it, no problem. No tires, just gas. And he's down and away. And there they go. So he's 7th right now. Going to have to catch Helton. And then Doucette and Cozy. Or at least Helton and Doucette to get the top 5.
Well, right now, this means really our only close battle in the top 10 is King and Cozy.
Trouble, Ryan Rocky. That's Canada corner.
Checking to see if he had help or if he did this on his own.
That's
he did that on his own. Yeah.
Just lost it under braking and then bounced it off the Armco. And then backed it up into the concrete to try and get it the right direction.
So, looks like the 19 has some company. Michael Rosero to his outside down into turn 5. He's trying to cut back underneath, but that was very great from the 19 there. He just basically covered off the apex, parked the car there, and when you do that, your rival can't really do anything to you.
Back there for 11th.
That's what he needs to do from here on out. Just hit your apexes, focus on your race. And the 19 will make life very difficult for the 023. Look at him try to square it off, though. And that's the other thing that's being done right here. Rosero trying to get the launch down the straight. It's a big misconception in racing a lot of times. You think, oh, I'll outbrake him. That's the way to do it. 4 wheels off. And Michael somehow lives to tell the tale through the kink.
That was scary.
But I was going to say, everybody thinks, oh, you know, we'll try and outbrake him as the 83 with more issues.
Man. It's David L. Brown, right at turn 8.
But I was going to say, everybody thinks that you got to outbrake your competitor into the corner. It's a lot easier to pass on a straightaway. You want to try and get those corner exits, be ahead by the braking, and then you'll have to do less to try and be the braver of the two souls in that fight. 3 laps to go now for these guys, and Reynolds still clear by about 16 seconds. He doesn't have to outbrake anybody at this point. In fact, it's going to be 2 to go in just a few moments.
Coming around through the carousel. He'll get 2 laps to go. Try and get himself his 3rd win on the season. His 2nd on a road course. He won back at Circuit of the Americas. Trouble, Lane Tidwell. That's turn 1. This battle back here for 10th, I think, with Miller and Rosero still. Yes, because Fresh pitted.
This one's getting feisty.
Or went wide or something.
Yeah, Dorman just went wide behind him, so that's a lap down car. Yep. Rosero really wants this one back. And looking through for our cars that took tires, it looks like McCandless is the closest one towards the top, and he sits in 9th just ahead of these guys.
And he's trying to make sure he can make it to the end on fuel. I guess he's not quite certain if he can or not. 2 to go for our race leader. Back to the battle for 10th.
Miller's got a lot of pressure here behind him. Rosero just filling up those mirrors. But we've seen Michael make some mistakes here at the end. He's got to be careful that he doesn't throw this race away himself. Yes, I know he wants the spot, as there's a defensive move from Miller down into Canada corner. But honestly, oh, a great exit right there. But there's no place to take it here up through Bill Mitchell Bend. It was a bit of a wasted run for him. He needs it out of turn 14. And another defensive move from Nick Miller into that turn right there and parks it on the apex.
Uses the bumper. I thought he was going to use the bumper there in Canada corner, but he does it on exit there, coming out of turn 14. Better launch for Miller. And these guys now hit 2 laps to go. We'll stay with this battle. Best battle on the racetrack.
Not much more time to try and settle it. About 4 minutes left in this race.
Actually, quickly, let's jump to 5th. Doucette and Helton. They're headed to turn 6 right now, and Helton just lost a lot of time. Here comes Brandon Hawken to the inside. He will take 6th away.
One more if he can just get by Doucette. There is a top 5 to be added to his stats. I wonder if he's wondering what could have been, though, having started this one on the pole.
Back to the battle for 10th. McCandless is there now as well. So this is now 9th, 10th, and 11th. And McCandless goes wide, gives up the 2 spots. This is now the battle for 9th. McCandless drops to 11th.
I wondered if they'd catch him, and certainly was easier than I anticipated it being. But credit to Nick Miller, because Rosero has been doing everything he can, but nothing is shaking that 19 off the racing line.
White flag for Blake Reynolds at the start-finish line. 1 lap to go in the Scott Wimmer Open. Let's go back to the battle for 9th. Through the carousel. And now maybe let's go to the battle for 5th, because it's getting good with Hawken and Doucette headed to 14. Coming up the hill, Doucette kicks it out a little bit. Maybe those fresher tires starting to show for Hawken. He was 2 seconds faster, about 1.5 seconds faster than Doucette that last time by. 1 to go for these guys.
The braking's going to tell the tale on that. It's not just coming off the corners, but going into them, that extra grip helps you. But no, that game of chicken actually goes to Doucette.
Oh, but Hawken backed that corner up big, and he's got a huge run headed to turn 2.
He needs to use it to his advantage here coming off the turn. It doesn't look good enough. Man, at times it seems like Brandon is so much faster, and then other times it just dissipates and Doucette keeps him at arm's length.
Headed to turn 5. The lock up there from Doucette. That opens the door for the 99.
Up and under the Corvette bridge. This is probably the best thing he can do right now. Just keeping the pressure on, showing his nose, trying to get him to make the error to open the door for him.
Here we go. Through the hurry downs. Oh, little bobble.
Big slide there from Doucette, but even still, he is looking very good. But I think we got to go to Blake Reynolds, because with it 1 corner left, he's looking like this one is his.
Blake Reynolds survives it all. The big crashes, the fuel mileage, everything to the end. He keeps it clean, and he's going to victory lane for the 3rd time this season in the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series. Blake Reynolds, your winner of the Scott Wimmer Open at Road America. Oh, look at this! Hawken around the outside with lap cars, the 95 of Jeremy Clapper Newell in the way.
Oh,
Here we
bad
go to
timing for
14.
him.
One last shot.
Oh, and behind him.
Helton around, that's a spot. Logan Helton spins it for 7th up the hill. Door to door, side draft in, give it to Hawken at the line by a nose. Logan Helton gets it back going. Mills is too far back. Helton gets 7th, now the battle for 9th. They're side by side, headed to the final corners. Can Miller hold on from Rosero? McCandless there as well to turn 14.
Miller's been so good up to here. All he has to do is be smooth, but look at that.
Here we go, blocking to the inside. Rosero's there. McCandless helping with the draft. McCandless might get a spot as well at the line. Give it to Rosero, barely 3/1000ths of a second. All of that for 9th.
Whew. And in fact, looks like we're not done, because Waterworth and Wetz are still trying to decide 16th.
16th here through Canada corner. Let's see what Wetz can do here. Wetz was almost 3 seconds faster than Waterworth that last time by. Here they come to 14 for the final time. Let's see with the draft.
Waterworth is up 17 positions. Let's see if he has to give one away.
Waterworth locked him up. Let's see what Waterworth can do. Blocking him down to the grass, and Wetz is going to get blocked almost into the tires. And that'll be the spot. Whew.
Wow. After a real slow period in the middle there, Jacob, that came together nicely. And yeah, Blake kind of blitzed the field there with that gap, but man, he did not. This was something he had to work for. He had to use the strategy, he had to use his speed. So I'd say he earned this.
Third win on the season for Blake Reynolds, and he's drifting it around the racetrack to celebrate his third win on the season. Go through our results here while we wait for Reynolds to come around to his burnout. Reynolds the winner. Tyler Gary finishes 20 seconds back in the second spot. Kevin King, a good rebound for him. He finishes third. Michael Cozy Jr. finishes fourth. Brandon Hawkin finishes fifth. Ryan Doucette finishes sixth. Logan Helton seventh. Landon Mills eighth. Michael Rosero ninth. And that photo finish with Nick Miller for 10th.
After that, when you get to 11th, it was Philip McCandless. Kwame Scott was 12th. Michael Frisch was 13th. Blake Bryant, P14, with 22 positions gained. Unbelievable. David Brown, P15 for him. Gary Waterworth, as I mentioned, 17 positions gained, up to 16th. Chris Wetz, P17. You've got Ryan Nawrocki in 18th. Kevin McCandless was the last one on the lead lap in 19th, and Art Reimer wound up 20th.
21st, Ryan Pandisio up 17 spots from the start of the race. Spencer Ray, 22nd. Cosmin Yonichu, 23rd. Nate Stewart, tough night for him. He finishes 24th. All these guys a lap down or more. Seth Knoll, 25th. Jeremy Clapper Newell in 26th. Robert Dorman, 27th. Alex Kolnick's 28th. Nathan Rabideau, 29th. Lane Tidwell finishes in 30th.
Jake Poulin, 5 laps down, 31st. Same thing with Oates there in 32nd. From there, I believe it is all DNFs, just drivers that could not manage to see the checkered flag here today, Jake.
Jake Poulin, Jonathan Oates, Zwack, others. The pace car there finishing 38th. That's nice. So Poulin, Oates, Zwack, Smith, Armstrong, Margot, Landon, Mistak, Punkari, Plessel, Tinsley, Cody, unofficially, is the results there. Let's talk with our race winner, Blake Reynolds. Dominating performance here from Road America, but it certainly wasn't easy.
No, it was not. That was a tough race. Longer with the cautions, especially. Just when the race slows down like that, it is really hard to get back in the groove. But when I did, I just took off.
Do you miss Scott Wimmer?
I do. I know several people that miss Scott Wimmer. I'll just say that.
Can you name any of them?
Isaac. I know a guy named Isaac. I can't remember his last name. I used to race NR with him. Isaac Jekyll. Oh my God. Yeah, Isaac Jekyll misses Scott Wimmer.
There you have it. Well, let's talk about the strategy, because I think at least I was confused. I don't know if Joe was confused or if he was just playing it off to make me look a little bit smarter than I am, but we had no idea what was going on with the fuel strategy there. Initially, we thought you were good, and then all of a sudden people started pitting again, and we realized that you weren't good. So what was that like from your seat? Obviously, with the cautions and everything, things got a little wonky.
Yeah, so we're limited to 12 gallons, and I was burning, according to my caps, 1.08 gallons per lap. So it was pretty much 10 laps. If you hard saved, you could go 11. But just the way you have to drive these cars now, no tire fall off. I didn't take tires a single time in that race, and I'll tell you the tire wear here. Even after burnouts, left rear was only at 67. Jeez. So they have updated these cars. They're pretty much bulletproof on these road courses, but it's just a different tempo. You know, it used to kind of go hard, back off, save your stuff, or just back off the whole run, and then right before you pit. Usually these are a one stopper races just because we don't do the full links here in iRacing, but it's just a different tempo. You have to go full on the whole race, and it's almost like a workout. I'm having to kind of build a muscle in a way coming up for this Coke race on Tuesday.
I was going to ask about that next. You're going to Mid-Ohio, different from here, but it's a road course.
Mid-Ohio?
What do you think about that going into next week?
Mid-Ohio for what?
For Coke. Am I going crazy?
No, we're going to Road America.
I do not understand. Oh, well, no. So, qualifying iRacing series is going to Mid-Ohio. I thought you were both going to the same place.
No, the Cup series. Oh,
the Cup
Jacob.
Atlanta next week. Whatever.
Jacob. Joe, can you believe this guy?
I thought we were professionals here.
Hey, man, this is FTF GG. We're a new
brother.
podcast here.
All right. Well, thank you, Blake, and we won't see you for a while. I never got the question answered. When we're here the 23rd, where in the world are we racing? I know better than to say we're at Pocono because there's no way we're going to
Atlanta next week.
Not next week.
Oh, not next week?
The 23rd, because Jordan's covering Atlanta and New Hampshire for us.
I'm not sure.
So in 3 weeks' time, if somebody could get me an answer to that, of course I could just look myself here as well. But
we got a Discord. You scroll the top. 2022 schedule. Open the Google Doc.
Schedule. See, that's a lot of buttons to do when you're calling a race.
Let's see.
How about June 23rd? I'll be darned. We are at Pocono.
What?
I'm surprised we're still going to Pocono. Okay, well,
for what?
Blake, for this series in 3 weeks. That's the next time we are back.
Oh,
FTF.
for you guys.
GG. Yes.
FTF. I love those guys. They're going to be covering my new league, SimCar.
See, that I didn't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Zach Johnson. Appreciate that. On the off weeks of Road to Pro qualifying series. Should be a good time. Good time.
Gotcha. Well,
I'm going to take
Blake,
up all the time I can here, Jacob.
It's past midnight on the East Coast. We got to get going. Grandpa Zach Johnson's got to go to bed. So thanks for your time, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, Blake.
All right. Thank you. Oh, shout out Complex It Works. First Four Racing, Jonathan Oates, Robert Dorman. They all suck. Goodbye.
All right. By the way, just for the record, Pocono is my home track. I'm not slandering the racetrack. I just didn't think that the FTF admins would say, yeah, I want to go to Pocono. That's just me. Let's talk with second place Tyler Gary. Just talked with you on a Wednesday after coming away with the win in ERL. I thought maybe you were going to steal this one again, running up toward the front all night long.
Yeah, I usually don't stand that much of a chance when it comes to road courses in this league, but come away with the P2, and I'm more than happy with that. I consider that good enough of a scan for me, so.
Well, of course, now I lost all train of thought because after that train wreck of a first place interview, I forgot how to run a show. I completely ignored Joe. He was supposed to talk with you. The wheels have fallen off the bus here at FTF.GG. Joe, you got anything for Gary?
Yes, I wanted to ask because, Gary, you managed to kind of work your way forward, but we didn't see a whole lot of you in battles. Do you feel this one was more you're down to strategy? I did see a couple incidents where you kind of avoided some of the big wrecks that we saw unfold as well.
I mean, a lot of it's just surviving. I feel like as long as you have a top 15, top 10 pace, and as long as you just survive and avoid any of the chaos that's going on, you can usually sneak away with a top 5, or in my case, a podium. And that's all it really came down to, just survive and being smart. Don't push the issue if I don't need to. And honestly, I mostly was by myself the entire race. Then I just kept my own pace, stayed on the track, and yeah.
And to clarify for the viewers, I usually do and did get in the car to try and get practice in here to really get into the driver's shoes to give some expertise on that. But I was really taken aback by how much the guys were pushing. We even heard Blake Reynolds talk about that the tires seemed to last. We didn't see the drop off that we used to see. And that caught me by surprise. I thought for sure strategy would elicit taking 4 fresh ones and blitzing back forwards. I take it you kind of in the same boat of just don't take them unless you really need to.
Yeah, I didn't take tires all that race. I think it's actually faster if you don't take tires coming out full tank of fuel. Like at the beginning of the race, I think qualifying I ran like a 2:09.9 or something like that, and my fastest lap in the race was a 2:08.2 or something around that lines. And most of my laps were around 2:09 flats, high 2:08. So whatever happened with the most recent build made it so there's not any tire fall off, even if you lose wear in the tire. So that's pretty much what it comes down to, is just don't take tires, and you don't have to save or anything like that, like I used to have to.
Apparently, well, let's play a hypothetical. Let's say if Scott Wimmer was a pinata, would you be able to make contact, or would you miss him?
What?
That's a go. Do you miss Scott Wimmer? Is the question. Just a creative way.
My
of
humor is
asking it.
apparently too highbrow for this channel.
Yeah, I'll take a big old swing and miss. The
Oh,
whole baseball.
So he does
whole,
indeed. Does
two
indeed
hands
miss,
of a baseball bat and just full on miss.
Oh, there you have it. Well, thanks, Gary. We'll see you in a couple weeks at Pocono.
See ya. Thank you.
Oh my! All right, let's talk with third place Kevin King. Kevin, how was your night tonight? Front to back to front, you involved in that big crash on the front straightaway. You had it all.
Yeah, I was. I missed that. Well, I thought I was gonna die. I heard "look out" going into turn 5, and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw Nate sideways in the grass. So I gassed it up and spun myself out trying to avoid it. So that was bad. But yeah, I got caught up in a couple wrecks. I had about 2.5 minutes of damage, and the fact that I was able to get to third is a miracle. But yeah, I mean, I had fun overall. I was driving my ass off at the end trying to catch those guys.
Do you miss Scott Wimmer?
Cup Scott Wimmer or Bush Car Scott Wimmer, because there's a difference.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that, just because that was not part of the dialogue that Justin Below gave me to ask.
If it's Bush Series Scott Wimmer, he was nuts. So yeah, if you go with him, but if you go to the 22 Caterpillar Scott Wimmer, maybe not so much.
Well, 3 on its nose, 4 wham. Is about the only thing that I can recall from Scott Wimmer's Cup Series career. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's pretty good.
We go to Pocono in a couple of weeks. Of course, we're going to Atlanta next week. That might be a hot mess.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And then New Hampshire. Then we go to Pocono, and that's when you'll see FTF back on this channel, broadcast on Saturday night. What do you think? How do you think you'll do at Pocono?
Good, I guess, because it's just going to be a draft fest for the most part. I typically run pretty well there. I don't know, top 10 hopefully, top 5 hopefully run well, but I'm looking forward to that. Not Atlanta, that track should be filled up with water now because they ruined it. But the other 2 should be fine.
Well, Kevin, thanks for your time. Best of luck next week at Atlanta. Good luck staying.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I will say, I want to give a shout out to Landon. He drove his ass off. He was up there. Unfortunately, he sped, but I want to give him a shout out because he was going to finish second that race, but has some bad luck there. But I want to mention him. Good job,
Kevin King, your third. Isn't working. Now it's working. What the heck? All right. Well, I think that's the time that, or the sign that closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So that's it here on FTF.GG. Thanks to Joe Peak for keeping up with me for these last 3 hours. Mess. Thanks to Zach Johnson as well, our producer tonight. That's all here from Road America. The series is back the next 2 weeks on Bottom Split with Jordan Worth from New Atlanta, and from New Hampshire, we come back in 3 weeks' time from Pocono. We'll see you for Road to Pro. We'll see you for ERL actually on Wednesday, and then Road to Pro on Thursday. Until then, that's all. I'm Jacob Hitz. Thanks for watching. See you in a couple weeks. Good night.